Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the video. We're talking more Arknights Endfield again today because I'm having an absolute blast with the beta. Seriously good stuff. But I want to talk specifically about the banner system in this video because it's got a lot of people torn, if I'm honest. And there's a lot of people, there's actually people who've got a little bit of a misconception as well. Well, let me just clear the misconception up first regarding the 50-50 pity. This is the 50-50 pity, okay? Not the guarantee pity. The 50-50 pity carries over to other banners, okay? Let's say you get to 79 pulls. The next pull on the next banner, you are guaranteed a 6-star character, okay? It'll be a 50-50, but you're guaranteed a 6-star character. I just wanted to clear that up because I think at the moment, a lot of people believe that none of the pity carries over. That's not true. The 50-50 pity carries over, okay? Let me just show you why, and then obviously we'll get into why people think this as well. Now, you can see just here in the details, this headhunting banner has a base drop of 0.8% rate for 6-star operators and an 80 attempt guarantee for 6-star operators. Guarantees from other LTO headhunting can carry over to this banner. So basically, that means that if it carries over to another banner. So if you get it 79 pulls, your next pull, you're getting a 6-star. Same thing for the 5 stars as well, which you get every 10 pulls. So if you get 9 pulls on the banner, your very first pull on the next banner will guarantee you a 5-star. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there. I've seen a lot of people thinking that's the case. It's not the case. But let's talk about why they think that is the case and why a lot of people are actually really not happy about this system in the game. And then we'll talk about how it could actually impact the different categories of players who play these games, free-to-play, light spenders, and your heavy spenders. But what we're talking about here is the actual guarantee of the banner. The headhunting banner has a 120 attempt guarantee to give the featured up 6-star operator. This guarantee can only trigger once and will be reset when the headhunting banner expires. The guarantee will not carry over to subsequent headhunting banners, okay? So, the main character of the banner, which is Leviathan, let's use this one for example. If you get to 110 pulls and the banner ends, that will reset back to 0. So the guarantee on the next banner is back at 120 pulls. But the 50-50 does. So let's say, just for easy math, you got to 80 pulls, you lost your 50-50, you pulled another 30 pulls and you were at 110 pulls, you'd have to get another 50 pulls maximum to trigger the 50-50 again, okay? There'll be no guarantee if you lost the 50-50, you're back on a 50-50 again. So what does this mean for different groups of the players in the game? So let's talk about free-to-play players. Basically, this means if you're free-to-play, you're going to have to be a little bit smarter about how you're pulling your characters in the game. And what I mean by that is there's no point just diving in and starting pulling on characters. Hey, listen, if you want to risk it, you might get super lucky, drop the character, 10 pulls, buzzing. But unless you're playing to this idea of, I don't really care if I win the 50-50, I just want 6-star characters, have at it, get to the 80 pulls max, you're getting a 6-star character, right? But if you want to get a character from a banner, it's not worth just pulling on a banner, basically, because although the pity's carrying over for the 50-50, it's still going to be a 50-50 next time, okay? Again, you might be lucky and just be one of those people that always wins 50-50s, then have at it again. But you're going to want to save all of your pulls in one go, get the 120, and then begin to pull. And if you're doing that, that's actually going to be efficient and much cheaper than what you probably would be doing on other games in regards to guaranteeing the character. So let's say for Wuthering Waves, for example, we go to the extremes of you're hitting hard pity. It's 160 to guarantee the character. Now, you might get lucky and win your 50-50. But if you lose your 50-50 and have to go 80 pulls twice, that's 160 pulls to guarantee the character. This game, it's 120. So it's 40 less. But that pity doesn't carry over on the guarantee. So it's going to cost you less, but you're not able to then use that pity on the subsequent banner in regards to the guarantee. But it will chip away at the 50-50 pity. So you're always able to chip away at the 50-50 pity, but it's always going to be 50-50. So free-to-play players are going to have to be smart about the way they pull. but they'll be able to go all in on the banners they want to a lot easier than would they typically would in something like Wuthering Waves or Zenless. Now, light spenders, which I'm usually in that, I don't really spend on most gacha games, but the games I do, I'm a very light spender. You'll have to kind of pull the same way as a free-to-play player would, really, in the sense that if you're not spending enough to buy the character outright, you're best to stack up your free pulls, then spend, and then begin to pull. Because if you start spending them, you are going to be put in this position of like, you might always be in a 50-50, or you're just going to have to spend again then. So you're going to have to do the same thing the free-to-play players doing. Stack those free pulls, top it up with your paid pulls, and then begin to pull just like the free-to-play player does. Now, if you're a medium spender and you're thinking, right, I'm just going to buy the character, I just want one copy of the character, it's going to be really cheap for you, basically. 120 pulls, you're getting the character every single time. But this isn't going to be great for whales, really. Now, it's going to be cheap for them to get the first copy of the character. They're going to love that. But your guarantee is once only. So, from what we're getting from this, the dupes have no guarantee. So, you could potentially go 80 pulls. Well, you're going to be 120 pulls deep. So, you're going to be 40 pulls into the 50-50 pity. So at 160 pulls, you'll trigger another 50-50. You might lose it, right? And then you might have to go to 240 pulls and you might lose it. That might happen over and over and over and over again. So you could make a lot of pulls and only have one copy of the banner character. So it's kind of like an anti-whale system, really. They're potentially going to get punished unless they're like, they're willing to spend a crap ton of money. So I feel like it's going to maybe benefit the light spenders the most, but they're going to have to pull in a different way, kind of like free-to-play players. And those people who have just got enough to maybe be the medium spenders are going to be able to make it a lot cheaper for themselves. So I think it's kind of interesting. And a lot of people don't like this system. And I don't know what to think about it personally. I think if you're a free-to-play player, you can't expect to obviously get all characters, but it's going to be easier for you to get the ones you want to get if you're sensible with your pulls. If you know a banner that you want to skip, save it for the next banner, and you're going to be able to guarantee that you get that character quite easily by the looks of things. Obviously, this all is dependent on how many pulls you can obtain in the game while you're playing. Of course, this is always a major factor. It doesn't matter how good a banner system is if the game's incredibly stingy on the pulls that you can obtain in the game. So, again, you're just going to have to be smart about the way you do this free to play. As I say, the people who can just afford the character outright are going to benefit from this the most for one copy because it's cheaper for them. And again, I think light spenders will benefit as well because you'll probably be spending less. But if you're not smart, you could put yourself in a bad position. So you're going to have to be patient and not let the FOMO get you and make sensible choices and make sure you're in a position where when you're spending, you're at 120 pulls and don't pull until you're there, if that makes sense. Because otherwise then you're going to be like, well, if you desperately want the character now, you're going to have to spend and maybe spend more than you wanted to spend initially because you didn't build up enough free pulls. So I think it'll be good for spenders, but change the way they pull. But whales, man, whales are going to get fucked if they're really unlucky after their initial character. One saving grace is, though, looking at the characters at the mini, dupes don't seem like they're that game-changing. They're just slight stat increases at the moment. So the necessity to pull dupes doesn't seem like it's really there. So like I say, I feel like this is a system that kind of punishes whales. It's decent for medium spenders, and it just encourages light spenders and free-to-play players to be very efficient with the pulls in the hope that you're not like that, and then you're in this ever-perpetual system of always in a 50-50. So let's say if you only ever get to 80 pulls for each banner, you will always be in a 50-50. You will never have a guarantee, basically, because it resets every banner. So you'll go into the next banner, back on a 50-50. You might lose it. Next banner, do the same over and over and over again. So if you're not smart, you might never get one of the premium banner characters. Now, of course, these might go into some of the spook pools later on in the game. So, that could be a thing. But yeah, you're going to have to be quite strategic with your banner pools in this game. They did say it's a strategic RPG, so I guess you need to be strategic in your pools as well. I'd like to know what you guys think about this. Is this something that desperately needs to change? I've seen a lot of people calling that if this stays the same, they will not play the game. And I'm curious to see what you guys think about it. Because personally, I'm kind of torn. See the problem with it, and then it could really mess people up. But at the same time, it's a cheap way to guarantee a character. But the guarantee not carrying over, I can understand some people's issue with that. Again, if you get lots of currency in game and we get plenty of pulls here and there, this system will probably benefit a lot of people. But, you know, they're going to want to make money. So, of course, we don't know that. I am going to talk about the weapon banner system in another video because we're going to have to work that out a little bit. On the face of it, it doesn't look too bad. But then when you look under the surface, looks like it could take a lot of pulls to get some of the weapons in this game. But I think as well, if you're smart on the pulls, it looks like you might be able to get a signature every other banner potentially. Or if not, you could be wasting a bunch of pulls and never getting the signatures. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be one of those games where you're going to have to be smart about the way you're pulling in this game. Otherwise, you're going to probably not brick your account, but really miss out on a lot of characters that you could have obtained quite cheaply, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section. Is this a shit system? Is this the kind of system you want? Would you prefer just a Wuthering Wave system, or would you prefer the system that we've got now? I'd love to know. Yeah, it's a beta, so these things might change. So, you know, if you've got problems with it now, now's the time to voice your opinions. I'm kind of torn. That's why I'm not leaning either way. You know, it's a system that I don't find egregious too much either way. I see the negatives, but I kind of see the positives as well. But it all depends on how much currency we can earn in game as well is a factor. If they're really stingy there, might be a problem. But maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, guys, if you did enjoy the video as well, drop a like on it, and I'll see you all in the next one. I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.